I was about to say I do when a man stormed into the chapel, holding a marriage certificate. He yelled, "This wedding can't happen, she's already my wife." The guests gasped. My fiancé turned to me, eyes burning with betrayal. I stammered, "I don't know him." But when the man showed proof, even I couldn't believe what I saw. My past had come back to haunt me, and it was worse than I ever imagined. I, 36 female, was standing at the altar of a chapel in Wimberley, Texas, about to marry the love of my life. Or at least, that's what I thought. The chapel was packed. We had about 80 guests, family, friends, coworkers, people we hadn't seen in years. My mom was crying. My best friend was holding my bouquet while trying not to smudge her makeup. My fiancé, Jake, 38M, looked at me with that soft, steady look he always gave when he was sure of something. He was sure of me. And then everything exploded. Let me rewind a bit. Jake and I met at a charity gala in Fort Worth about 3 years ago. He worked in logistics, I worked in senior healthcare administration. We both knew what it meant to work long hours, be patient with people, and hide our stress behind polite smiles. He wasn't flashy. He didn't play games. He just showed up. Every time. He listened, paid attention to details, asked questions. When he proposed during a weekend trip to Austin, I said yes before he even finished the question. We planned a mid-sized, cozy wedding in hill country, surrounded by wildflowers and limestone cliffs. Nothing too fancy, just simple, meaningful, intimate. I was so sure. I really believed I'd found peace after years of messy relationships and ghosting and situationships. I was finally going to be someone's wife. Wedding day arrives. Everything was going smooth. Bridesmaids, hair, makeup, champagne. The ceremony started on time. No last-minute chaos. When the officiant asked the classic line, "If anyone has reason why these two should not be joined in holy matrimony, speak now or forever hold your peace," I smiled. Then the chapel doors slammed open. Loud. Like movie scene loud. A man in a wrinkled dress shirt and scuffed boots walked straight down the aisle, holding a piece of paper above his head. He shouted, "This wedding can't happen. She's already married." To me, it felt like the air got punched out of the room. Everyone froze. Jake turned his head toward the man, then back to me. His face went from confused to shocked to something I had never seen before. Betrayal. I blinked. "I don't know him," I said, my voice dry. The man ignored me. He handed the paper to the officiant. "Here. Here's our marriage certificate. Her name's on it. Her signature." The officiant read it. He looked up at me, confused. Then he handed it to Jake. Jake looked at it for about 3 seconds. Then he looked at me. He didn't say a word, but his eyes said enough. "What the hell is this?" I walked over to look at it. And that's when my world cracked. The certificate was real. My full name. My signature. His name, Thomas Pierce. The date, 3 years ago. The place, Las Vegas. A photo was attached. Me, wearing a plastic tiara, holding a bouquet made of poker chips, standing next to this guy in front of a fake Elvis. I don't remember signing it. I don't remember the photo. I barely remember the night. But suddenly it hit me. A trip to Vegas. My friend Sarah's bachelorette weekend. A lot of drinking. A lot. I remembered tequila, dares, laughing until I puked. I remembered meeting a guy at a blackjack table. I remembered kissing him. I thought we just hooked up and that was that. Apparently not. Apparently, we walked into a chapel, got married by a man in a rhinestone jumpsuit, and signed legal documents that actually got filed. And then I left. I never gave it another thought. I turned back to Jake. "I swear, I didn't know," I whispered. He didn't speak. He stared at me, then at the paper, then back to me. The chapel was dead silent. My mom covered her mouth. My dad looked away. My cousin mouthed "Oh my God" to her boyfriend. No one moved. Jake finally said, "You're married to someone else?" I shook my head hard. No, I mean, technically, yes. But I didn't know. I was blackout drunk. I don't even remember this. Thomas, the guy from Vegas, cut in, looking annoyed now. It was real. You were into it. You said forever. You ghosted me. You left me with nothing but a paper and a fake ring. Now I was seeing red. I didn't ghost you. I didn't even know we were married. He laughed bitterly. Well, the state of Nevada says otherwise. It got worse. Jake handed the certificate back to the officiant and stepped down from the altar. I need a minute, he said, voice flat. He walked out of the chapel. Just walked out. People started whispering. The bridesmaids didn't know what to do. The groomsmen looked like they wanted to disappear. I was standing there in my wedding dress, sweating, shaking, heart thudding, mascara running. I was in shock. And all I could think was, what the hell did I do? I stood there frozen. My wedding was supposed to be the best day of my life. Instead, I was now the lead role in some kind of tabloid nightmare. People started leaving their seats. Not saying much, just awkward glances, half hugs, one or two pats on the shoulder. A few of them looked at me like I'd planned the whole thing. One older aunt shook her head and muttered something like "Poor Jake." Thomas just stood there. Like he expected something from me. Why now? I finally asked him. Why show up today? He looked me dead in the eye and said, because I found out 2 weeks ago. Someone posted your wedding announcement on Facebook. Imagine my surprise seeing my wife in a dress next to another guy. I didn't have words. He kept going. I tried to call you. I emailed you. I DM'd you on Instagram. Nothing. So I drove here. That chilled me. I never saw those messages. Then it hit me, I had gotten a few random DM requests that I ignored. I thought it was spam. And I'd changed my number last year when I switched jobs. But him driving here from Nevada? You seriously drove all the way to Texas just to ruin my wedding? He raised an eyebrow. To stop bigamy? Yeah. Thought it was the right thing. I wanted to scream. But before I could, Jake came back in. He didn't return to the altar. He didn't even look at me. He walked straight to Thomas. Let's talk. Outside. For 5 whole minutes, no one knew what to do. The guests were awkwardly scattered, some standing, some sitting, some pretending to scroll their phones. My mom tried to pull me into a hug, but I pulled away. I couldn't breathe. I needed answers. I needed out of that chapel. I followed them out into the small parking lot behind the building. They were arguing. I stayed behind a pillar, just out of sight. Jake. If this is a joke, you're going to pay for this. Thomas, it's not a joke. Look, I don't even want her anymore. I just wanted the truth out. You deserve to know. Jake, she said she didn't remember. She said it was a mistake. Thomas, I don't care. A mistake that lasted 3 years and counted under the law. Jake, so what now? You want alimony? Money? Thomas, no. I want closure. She walked away like I never existed. I want a clean end. I stepped forward. Then you'll get it, I said. I'll get the annulment. Today. Right now if I have to. Jake looked at me. You still didn't tell me why. Why didn't you ever say anything? I took a deep breath. Because I didn't remember. I swear. I thought it was just a stupid night. I had no idea it was legal. Thomas scoffed. You looked pretty happy in that photo. I snapped. Yeah? I also puked in a trash can 20 minutes later. I was blackout drunk, Thomas. It wasn't real to me. Jake shook his head slowly. But it was real enough to ruin this. That hit hard. I felt it in my chest. But just as I thought this was the peak of the disaster, Thomas dropped another bomb. There's more, he said, looking at me. I narrowed my eyes. What more? He took a breath. We filed taxes together. 1 year. What? Yeah. I needed a break on health insurance. My job had nothing. I used the marriage to apply for a couple of things. Didn't tell you. I didn't think you'd care, since you ghosted me. Jake's mouth dropped open. So this is fraud. Thomas shrugged. It was real. On paper. I didn't fake anything. I felt like my knees were about to give out. You used me for benefits? Thomas looked at me, serious. No. I used the situation. You were gone. What did it matter? Jake turned to me. You didn't just forget this. You walked away from a whole legal mess and never looked back. I wanted to fight. I wanted to explain. But how could I? Jake's mom came outside. She looked furious. She pointed at me. You lied to my son. You dragged us all out here for this circus. I didn't lie, I said, barely able to speak. I didn't remember. Well, now you do, she said coldly. And I hope you live with it. Then she turned and walked away. Jake didn't stop her. He didn't say anything. Just stared at the gravel. I wanted to grab his hand, shake him, scream, please believe me. But I didn't. Because honestly, I didn't even believe myself anymore. Vendors were packing up. My cousin was handing out cake to random people just to make use of it. Guests were awkwardly chatting like they didn't just witness a human implosion. My best friend tried to calm me down. She whispered, "This'll be a good story one day." I laughed. Not a real laugh. The broken, bitter kind. Because this wasn't just a story. It was my life. And it wasn't even over yet. I was sitting in the bridal suite, still in the dress, with half of my makeup cried off and my shoes kicked across the room. People were leaving in small groups. No one said goodbye. I felt numb. And then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered, hoping it was Jake. But it wasn't. A woman's voice, sharp and cautious. Is this Danielle Carter? Yes. This is Madison Pierce. I'm Thomas's wife. I froze. You're what? She repeated it. Thomas is married. To me. Since 2021. We live in Reno. I sat straight up. What are you talking about? He told my whole wedding he was married to me. Yeah, well, she said, he's been lying to both of us. Thomas wasn't just the guy I accidentally married in Vegas. He was a full-blown scammer. I was his legal wife, technically, from 2020. She was his common-law wife since 2021. They had a kid. A baby boy. She found out about me after seeing my name in an email, something about insurance forms, and did some digging. That's how she found the Vegas record. And then, she found my wedding page. I thought you were the mistress, she said. Until I saw the date of the Vegas wedding. I told her the truth. All of it. The blackout night, the photo, the crash into my wedding. She was quiet. He told me you were crazy. That you were obsessed with him. That he had to get a restraining order. My stomach flipped. That never happened. I didn't even remember him until today. Yeah, she sighed. That's what I figured. She asked me to send her a photo of the marriage certificate. I did. In return, she sent me a screenshot of a birth certificate, her son. Thomas was the father. He was listed on the form. Born in late 2022. Which meant he got someone else pregnant while still married to me. My head was spinning. I walked out to find Thomas. I spotted him near the chapel's side lot, sitting on the hood of a car, checking his phone like nothing happened. I confronted him. Showed him the texts from Madison. The birth certificate. The timeline. He looked at me and said, "I didn't think she'd find out." "You're married to her?" I shouted. He shrugged. "Common law. It's not like I signed anything with her." My voice cracked. "You showed up at my wedding, accusing me of being a bigamist, when you were hiding a whole family?" Thomas looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You left me first. So what does it matter?" I didn't even hit him. I wanted to. But I didn't. I walked away. Straight to Jake. He was leaning against his truck, arms crossed, eyes red. "I need you to hear something," I said, pulling out my phone. I played the voice message Madison had sent me, her calm voice explaining that Thomas was a manipulator, that he used people, that she was sorry for being angry at me. Jake listened. He didn't interrupt. When the message ended, he was quiet for a long time. "I believe you," he finally said. I almost cried. "But," he added, "I don't know if that changes what I feel. I just watched the woman I love get called out for being married to someone else, in front of everyone we know." "I didn't know," I said softly. "I swear." "I know," he said. "But now I do know. And I can't unknow it." Then he dropped his own twist. "I didn't tell you this before," Jake said. "But I've been married once too. A long time ago. Right out of college." I blinked. "You never told me that." He nodded. "Because it didn't mean anything. It was 3 months. We were young, stupid. She left. It was over fast. I thought it didn't matter." My heart sank. "So, you hid it too?" He looked at me, tired. "Yeah. I guess we both did. Now we were two broken people, holding on to secrets we didn't mean to keep." The chapel was nearly empty. Someone was stacking chairs. Thomas had disappeared. I didn't care where he went. Jake and I just stood there, both of us thinking about everything we just learned. My fake marriage was real. His real marriage was forgotten. And the whole wedding was a graveyard of what could have been. The next day, Jake texted me. "Let's talk. Coffee? No drama." We met at a diner just outside Wimberley. Neutral ground. Somewhere where no one would be wearing a tux or a white dress. I was already there when he walked in. His eyes were tired, but not angry. Just, done. He sat down, folded his hands, and said, "You should know. Thomas came to the hotel last night." My stomach flipped. "What?" He showed me screenshots. "Of messages between you and him. From Vegas." I froze. I never messaged him after Vegas. Jake slid his phone across the table. I looked. It was my name. My photo. My old number. Flirty texts. "Let's run away. I've never felt this way before." Stuff I would never say. "That's not me," I said. "I swear to God, I never wrote that." Jake watched me. "That's what I thought." I checked the number. "It's not your current one." I called it. A guy answered. My heart was racing. "I think he faked them," Jake said. "Used an old photo of you. Set up a fake account. Maybe he cloned your old number somehow. I don't know. But it's messed up." I nodded slowly, hands shaking. "So he didn't just crash the wedding, he tried to blow up everything." "Yeah," Jake said. "And he almost did." A few days later, Madison, Thomas's current wife, asked if she could meet me in person. She came to Dallas with her baby. We met at a park. She was younger than me. Maybe 30. Her kid was a chubby little thing, asleep in a stroller. She looked exhausted but calm. "I'm sorry," she said first. "I should have called the cops instead of calling you." I shook my head. "No. You deserve to know the truth." Then she said it. "I think I'm leaving him. Not just because of you. Because of all the lies. He's been doing this for years." Apparently, I wasn't the only one. She'd found 3 other women in his past. Same story. Quick marriage. Then ghosting. In one case, he'd taken out a credit card in a woman's name. I felt sick. So she did something bold. She posted everything. Screenshots. The Vegas marriage. My ruined wedding. Her baby. The other women. She made it public. Facebook, Reddit, even local news tip lines. Within 2 days, the post went viral. It all came to a head at a town council meeting. Thomas had recently been applying for a security job with a government agency. Ironic, right? When the post blew up, people started calling the place. Someone invited the media to the next town council session where he was expected to speak about a small grant program. I went. I don't know why. Closure, maybe. He showed up looking nervous. Then he saw me. And Madison. And 2 of the other women. We stood up. In front of everyone. Madison was the first to speak. Her voice was steady. "This man used my name. My child's identity. He married her without divorcing me. Another woman, he maxed out a credit card under my name. Me, he ruined my wedding, then tried to blame me for his lies." Gasps. Council members whispering. News cameras rolling. He didn't deny it. Just said, "I didn't think it would go this far." He was immediately removed from the hiring process. One of the women filed charges. Madison filed for a protective order and full custody. As for Jake? We didn't speak for 2 weeks. Then, one afternoon, I found a package at my door. Inside was a photo. The 2 of us on our first camping trip. A sticky note attached. I still remember the peace we had. "I'm not ready to trust again. But I don't hate you." Jake, I cried for an hour. He wasn't coming back. Not now. Maybe not ever. But he didn't leave with hate in his heart. And that, somehow helped. It's been 3 months. The annulment is finalized. Thomas is under investigation. Madison and I still text sometimes. Trauma bonding, I guess. She's filing for full divorce. Jake is gone. Moved back to Fort Worth. I see him on social media sometimes. Looks like he's healing too. And me? I'm rebuilding. Therapy. Time alone. Rethinking what love even means. What did I learn? That sometimes, you don't get closure the way you want. Sometimes, you get it through destruction. But it's still closure. If you're reading this and ignoring weird red flags, don't. If you ever got so drunk you blacked out, double-check what "nothing happened" really means. And if someone ever walks into your life claiming to be your past, make sure your present is ready to face it. Because the past doesn't stay buried forever. Not when it wants revenge.